Chapter 5. Carnage at the apartment. The night was thick with tension as police cruisers screeched to a halt outside Brian Marshall's crumbling apartment building. Red and blue lights painted the facade in sickly hues, illuminating cracked windows and peeling paint. Officers spilled from their vehicles, boots pounding the pavement, rifles clutched tight against their chests. Radios hissed with static, punctuated by clipped commands. Inside the lobby, the front desk clerk, a wiry, wild-eyed man, waved his arms frantically. "There are twins," he shouted, voice cracking. His warning dissolved into the chaos as the team ascended, some crammed into the groaning lift, others pounding up the stairs, footsteps echoing like a war drum. On the top floor, they assembled in the dim hallway outside Brian's apartment. The air was stale and cold, their breaths misting despite the sweat shining on their faces. From behind the reinforced door came muffled voices, one frantic, pleading, another mocking, venomous. The lead officer hammered the door with his fist. "A police! Open up!" The arguing inside continued, oblivious. Furniture scraped, footsteps paced. "And no answer," one officer muttered. "They're in there, 2 of them. Breach it," the commander ordered, scarred cheek twitching. Over the radio, Detective Davy's voice crackled. "Wait! Do not breach!" "I'm en route. He's highly dangerous." Too late. The battering ram slammed forward. With a thunderous crash, the steel door buckled and splintered, revealing the apartment's dark maw. The first officer stepped inside. His boots crunched on broken glass. Then, click, a faint whir. From the ceiling, a net of razor-sharp copper wire snapped downward. It swallowed him whole, cutting through his gear, sinking into flesh. He screamed, raw and guttural, before the net cinched tight. His helmet crumpled with a sickening crunch. Blood sprayed across the walls as his skull collapsed inward. His body dangled, limp in its cocoon, grotesque, swaying like a marionette. "Holy shit," someone gasped. But the nightmare had only begun. Hidden compartments spat more wire into the room. One officer's arm was severed in an instant, blood spurting in rhythmic jets as he collapsed, shrieking. Another was snared at the waist. The tightening strands crushed ribs and split his abdomen wide, spilling steaming entrails onto the floor. The hallway filled with the stench of copper and fear. "Move in," the commander shouted, voice trembling. They pushed forward, stepping over mangled bodies into the living room. The floor groaned under their boots, a mechanical snap. Panels slid open. Spears erupted upward, jagged and rusted. One impaled an officer through the groin, tearing through Kevlar and flesh before bursting from his chest. He hung twitching, blood cascading down the shaft. Another was skewered clean through, the spear splitting him from pelvis to skull in one grotesque motion. His torso erupted outward, ribs snapping like twigs. "Get out! It's a trap!" someone screamed. Too late again. With a hiss, the sprinkler system rained not water, but acid. The liquid seared through uniforms, through skin. Officers' flesh sloughed off in sheets. One's jawbone gleamed through melting cheeks. Another collapsed, his hands dissolving into stumps as his throat melted to nothing. Within seconds, they were reduced to steaming puddles of flesh and bone pooling on the ruined floor. Detective Davy arrived minutes later, another squad behind him. He froze at the threshold, his boots squelched in blood. The air reeked of burned meat and terror. Bodies dangled, pooled, and sprawled beyond recognition. "Jesus Christ," he whispered. A bomb squad specialist edged forward. "We need to secure the area. There could be more." "Be careful," Davy said, voice hard but shaky. "Oh, this guy's a psychopath." The specialist advanced, flashlight sweeping across the carnage. In the bedroom, his beam caught a jagged hole in the wall, an escape route. He turned to call it out. Snap, a massive blade dropped from the ceiling. The specialist was split from shoulder to hip, his body peeling apart like overripe fruit. Blood and organs gushed in a torrent, spine sheared clean through. His halves collapsed in opposite directions, steaming in the silence. "No!" Davy shouted, slipping in the gore as he lunged forward. His hands trembled as he stared at the bisected remains. A gardamet. The remaining officers crept through, disarming a spiderweb of wires and plates. They stepped into the adjoining apartment and froze. It was a workshop of nightmares. Tables brimmed with special effects, masks so lifelike they seemed to breathe. Human faces in agony. Grotesque monstrosities with hollow eyes and twisted maws. Latex gleamed wet under the dim light, every detail, wrinkles, veins, pores eerily perfect. Davy picked one up, cold against his fingers. He turned it over, shuddering at the realism. "Who is this guy?" he whispered. In the back of his mind, a low chuckle echoed. Oh, detective, you have no idea. The scene faded to black screams and dripping blood lingering like a promise of more carnage to come.